of private members, or perhaps if he is Home Secretary, as he's expected to be, he could be much more draconian even than that. He is visibly a key figure and talked about, John, as someone who could even be the next leader.
Yes, there is that talk. I mean, he is a remarkable figure. I heard a tabloid journalist the other day saying that they worked hard at one stage a few years ago to try and prove that he wasn't blind. And it was just the sense in which, how does he do it? How does he manage to cope with all this information and do it with such skill?
Absolutely phenomenal. Something else on this other story that's running through the Tories, Anne Widdecombe saying, as far as I'm concerned, William has been an excellent leader. He is staying as leader. He's a staying leader. What do you make of this?
He's a staying leader. Well, it's as if they've worked it out behind the scenes, haven't they? That they just want time for reflection. They don't want people to get into such a gloom tonight that they think that tomorrow William Hague will go. Now, the difficulty is that, of course, there are lots of Conservatives who told me before the result that if he lost seats, he would go. So we still don't know about this, whatever they're saying.
We'll be following it, John. Now for a results summary, Mary Nightingale.
Jonathan, we are still predicting a Labour landslide of huge proportions. At present, it's 189 that we're looking at. And this is based on a combination of Murray exit poll and results. We now have enough results to start forecasting on that basis as well. If we look at our map of Great Britain, you can see 118 seats have declared so far. 541 still to declare, so early days, and you can see obviously that our map is still very, very pale with just a few bits of colour in there. But to return to our House of Commons prediction now, with that predicted Labour majority of 189, that would give Labour 424, Tories 143, Lib Dems 62, and the rest on 30. Back to you, Jonathan.
Thank you very much. And now we can see Tony Blair at his count in Sedgefield, getting very close, I guess, to the result. Tony Blair, we're talking now prediction, John, of 191. It's edging up, a prediction of 191 majority. He, of course, will wait until he is far more certain of the real result before he'll have enough faith in that.
Yes, it's interesting that David Blunkett there was comparing them with Margaret Thatcher in 1983, but she then had a majority of 144. So it's much, much lower. They've done much better than her, and that's why you can see this is an astonishing result, and it's not surprising. Tony Blair at least is smiling broadly and looks genuinely happy. Tired but happy.
And doesn't know perhaps how awful the turnout is in some of these places. I noted that in David Blunkett's seat, the turnout was only 46.7. That's below 50% in Sheffield Brightside. OK, a safe seat. It'll be very interesting to see what Tony Blair manages in terms of turnout here.
I think one of the reasons of it too, and obviously what they will think about, is this question of delivery, that for many of those people.
And now Portsmouth South's result. This is a Liberal Democrat gain at the last election.
This is the election for the Portsmouth South constituency. As returning officer, I give notice that the number of votes for each candidate was as follows. Michael Thomas Hancock, Liberal Democrat, 17,490. Graham Philip Heaney, the Labour Party candidate, 9,361. Jonathan Christopher Molyneux, Socialist Alliance, 647. Michael Norman Allen Tarrant, UK Independence Party, 321. And Philip Henry Waugh, the Conservative Party candidate, 11,396. And I declare that Michael Thomas Hancock.
So there's the result. Michael Hancock, who's fought this seat 5 times, is in there again, stayed there, increased his majority, 17,490. The Conservatives in second place, 11,396. Labour on 9,361. A majority of over 6,000. The swing from Conservative to Liberal Democrat, 3.6%. So there's the share of the vote, 44.6 for Liberal Democrats, 29.1 for the Conservatives. and the change in the share of the votes, really encouraging news here for the Liberal Democrats, up by 5.1%, the Conservatives down 2.1%, Labour 1.4%. So there is the result of that, another Liberal Democrat strong result there. Colin, this is looking good for our prediction for the Liberal Democrats, which I think is now at 62 seats in this Parliament.
It certainly is, Jonathan. This was a seat that they won in 1997 with a reasonable majority. I think they would have been confident of hanging on, but they have increased that, as you were saying. And the interesting thing about it is that it hasn't simply been tactical voting. The Labour vote is down a little, but the Conservative vote is down as well. And in a seat where the referendum party got over 3% of the vote in 1997, UKIP have fallen away to nowhere, but instead, as was expected, that a lot of that vote would go back to the Conservatives. It hasn't really done so. So even in places like that, the Conservatives are doing no better than in 1997, and in Portsmouth South worse.
And just one more thing, Colin. With the 100 results or more now in, and the turnout an average of 13% down, it's less than 60%, is that looking now as if it's going to be there throughout the night at that level?
I would still be a little cautious about that. Remember that a lot of England today, everywhere that still has a two-tier system of local government, has county council elections. They won't count till later because the local votes and the general votes have to be separated. They tend to be in the more rural and suburban areas where turnout is traditionally higher. It will have dropped there, but probably perhaps by not to the same degree. And so I think we may still hit the 60 mark overall.
Thank you. The big story of the night, of course, though, it is a Labour landslide, predicting majority now. It's moving around a little bit all the time, majority of 185, and a disaster for the Conservatives with, 146 seats at the moment in the next Parliament. And now we can see Blair, who is in his... There he is. He looks like he's getting some money. Oh, I know what he's doing. It is whichever monster raving kind of party that is, he's getting some fake, very valuable money, but enjoying it. I expect it to save some special currency, don't you, John?
Yes, I think that he's prepared to put up with anything now. I suspect that the mood is beginning to rise now, the sense of we've done it, and so you can just see it there. And Cherie Blair, she's enjoyed the campaign. She told me she was enjoying it, and perfectly happy about following him around.
Yeah,
her legal work didn't, in fact, clash with
I was going to say,
doing.
they said she was always going to be doing her legal work. She got out an awful lot, in fact.
Yes, it was sort of, I don't know, their holidays or something. There was some strange business in the law where you don't work for certain times.
Oh, that's lawyers. Let's go now, though, to Dermot in his virtual battleground. Dermot.
Jonathan, thanks a lot. Yes, the scale of the impending Conservative defeat beginning to come clear on my battleground. These, the Labour seats that the Tories had to start winning this evening. They were all Labour after 1997, remember. Well, those that have declared so far have stayed with the Labour Party. Let's take a closer look at a few of them. Here we have Putney here. Putney, remember that from 1997, lost by David Mellor, Sir James Goldsmith, making a lot of noise, of course, at that declaration. Well, that stayed with the Labour Party. Another one up here we saw declare. Key marginal, of course. The Conservatives had to start winning seats like this back. Birmingham, Edgbaston, Gisela Stewart back there. No change at all in any of the seats so far declared. One, just to remember, that has declared, a key seat, we mentioned it to you earlier in the evening, Wirral South here. That would have represented, if all the seats up to this point had turned blue, and that one as well, William Hague would have achieved a hung parliament. Must seem a bit of a distant dream now, though. Jonathan.
Thank you very much, Dermot. Now, with the results now in so far, the Conservatives have won their first seat of the night. That's because the Conservative seats tend to come in slightly more belatedly. That seat is Robert Symes, who's held on in Poole. Now, have a look there. Remember the margin that Labour has to reach formally to be announced as the next government is 330. They're on 121. That one seat I just referred to puts the Conservatives on 1. Liberal Democrats have already got 7 in there. But it is a fantastic... I mean, people said, oh, yeah, this result, we knew what was going to happen. But what's happening inside this result is really quite extraordinary. And we're going up to Oldham now, where apparently there are significant problems here. This is the seat, of course... This is the seat here where there was a lot of problem of racism there. And there is, I can see there, a sense of anxiety. I'm told that there have been some police officers in there. The British National Party, BNP, is running in this seat. I'm not quite sure what the gag represents. It may be a reference to the fact that the council has said that they don't want any speeches afterwards. There is Michael Meacher behind there. He will be very concerned about this indeed. It's a safe seat for him, but he will be very concerned by this behaviour. We will be back there for the declaration. It's a measure of just how uncomfortable the race issue is. All the politicians in the run-up to this election said whatever their views might be on the issue of asylum or on the issue of immigration, they were not going to talk about race.